If you're planning a trip from Oaxaca City to Hierve el Agua and the Mitla Ruins, you have to watch this video first. I'm giving an honest review of the costs, the drive, and why we ran out of time for the Teotitlán del Valle weaving workshops. We're going to break down the budget of doing a DIY trip instead of doing a tour and how to make the most of it. Since we're doing this ourselves, we started off the morning driving from Oaxaca City to Hierve el Agua. The drive can take anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on road conditions and traffic. Due to construction on the highway, it took us about 2 hours to get there. Entrance costs 50 pesos a person, but there are some hidden costs you may overlook if driving yourself, like about 180 pesos in tolls, 50 pesos for parking, and 20 pesos a person for the San Lorenzo community tax that you have to pay to drive through the town to reach Hierve el Agua. We first did the hike to see the Petrified Waterfalls. Like most activities in Oaxaca, there's very little shade and it can get very hot, so it's recommended to start earlier in the day. This also helps avoid crowds since this is a popular day trip from Oaxaca as well. The trail is quite steep and all downhill on the way and then all uphill on the way back. Seeing the Petrified Waterfall is super cool and it's definitely worth the trip since there's only one other place in the world where you can see a Petrified Waterfall, and that is in Turkey. The entire trail is a 1.8-mile loop, but we recommend just turning around after the second waterfall since there isn't much else to see after that. And it seemed like the guided tours we saw turned around after the first waterfall. Since you've come all this way, I would say see the second waterfall, but the first one is definitely the most impressive. After our hike, we were ready to swim and cool off. There are 2 small pools that you can swim in, so don't forget to wear your bathing suit or bring it to change into. This was my favorite part. I did think the pools would be bigger or closer to the waterfalls. I had very high expectations because I'd seen Hierve el Agua on social media and it'd been on my bucket list for years. And so I think I just had a little bit too high of expectations. And one of the areas that I'd seen a lot of pictures of, I think probably pre-COVID, was actually closed and did not look as photogenic as I had seen pictures of. So I hope our videos help set reasonable expectations. It was actually closed because people had damaged it by walking on it. So make sure that you are being respectful and responsible, following any signs that say do not walk on the rocks and leave this place so that others can enjoy it for a long time after us. The site overall is really quite small, but I think it's worth the trip just because it is such a unique spot. The area got really crowded by the time that we were getting ready to leave, so definitely try and go as early in the morning as you can. And then also be careful when getting into the pools. The limestone rock gets very slippery and we saw a few people slip when trying to enter from the back of the pool. Instead, we'd recommend entering from the side and kind of sliding down the rock. The water is cold, which might be surprising for a place where the name basically translates to boiling water. And the reason it is called Hierve el Agua, or basically boiling water, is because of the way the water bubbles up and looks like it's boiling, but it's actually quite cool. I did a stop at one of the stalls and got tepache, a pineapple-based drink, and also some fruit. We got a couple cups of tepache and a cup of fruit, and it was 200 pesos, which felt pricey. And to make it worse, the tepache was really bad. Like, it needed ice or something. It was not good. So after that experience, we decided to not eat anymore at Hierve el Agua and headed to Mitla instead. We drove to San Pablo Villa de Mitla to visit the Mitla Ruins. Google Maps or whatever app you use may tell you to drive through the mountains, but mountain roads can be varying in conditions depending on weather and construction, so we instead decided to drive back the way we came and followed the signage for Mitla, and then we didn't have to pay any tolls either and had no problems. We had memelas at Antojitas Doña Chave. The food was good and cheap, but be prepared to sit on plastic stools with lots of flies. Lunch for the 4 of us was 335 pesos. Then we walked a very short distance to visit the Mitla Ruins. Entrance to the ruins is 105 pesos for nationals and 210 pesos for foreigners. If you want to join a guided tour, you can, but what we did was actually borrow a travel guidebook on Oaxaca from our local library and use that to add additional context to what we were looking at. There are 2 main sites that are included with your ticket, and those close at 4:30 p.m., so we felt a little rushed, and it also felt like not a lot of value for the price. Monte Albán felt like a much better deal and value for the entrance price since they cost the same, but Monte Albán was a lot larger. So if you are only going to visit one archaeological site, I would definitely recommend Monte Albán over Mitla. Mitla is known for its palaces and courtyards, which is different than a lot of pyramid-based ruin sites, so that was interesting. Unfortunately, one of the main sites, the Palace of the Dead with tombs, was closed when we were there, so if that had been open, maybe it would have felt like a better deal or value for the entrance cost. There are other ruins scattered throughout the town. They are free to see. You do not need the entrance ticket to Mitla to see them. They are quite small though, but we walked to see those and the rest of the town. I wanted to see them so I could report back to you guys on them, and I would say you can easily skip them. Our plan was to visit Teotitlán del Valle to see the weaving workshops and do some shopping, but unfortunately we were worried that we were running out of time and wouldn't make it there. Driving from place to place just takes so much time. There actually was quite a bit of shopping in Mitla though, so you can walk through different markets and shop for textiles if you're interested. I was surprised at how reasonable the prices felt for being such like a touristy spot. We bought 3 napkins and a table runner for 250 pesos, which seemed very fair. I was sad to miss the workshops and the demonstrations since I do like to see those demonstrations and meet the artisans, but was also happy to be able to support the locals in Mitla. We also had a nieve and a sparkling water drink while walking through the markets in the town to rehydrate. As it was getting dark, we headed back to Oaxaca City and we were able to avoid any tolls. Now, don't judge me, but we stopped at KFC for dinner. And before you're like, this American girl getting KFC in Mexico, KFC is way better in Mexico, and I don't even like KFC in America. I usually get the quesadillas in Mexico, and Nephi gets the Big Crunch, which is like a chicken sandwich, and he usually gets a combo that also comes with the quesadilla. So this was definitely a little bit pricier. For the 4 of us, we paid about $43 for dinner, so broke our budget a little bit, but it was convenient, easy. We could just drive and sit and eat on our way back home. This was a pretty exhausting day with a lot of driving. The same thing kind of happened yesterday with our driving to different artisan towns. We felt a little bit rushed, so I would recommend just picking 2 activities a day if you're going to be driving outside of Oaxaca, because driving just always takes longer than you think, and then you won't feel as rushed or that you're not going to be able to finish your plans. Up next, we're sharing our day in Oaxaca City. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.